I sit here recording this video confessional in the final three. Again, when I finish this video confessional, I'm going to write my fallen comrade statements. I've never actually played in a game where I did not write my fallen comrade statements. So again, my track record is impressive. I know how to play this game and get myself to the end. I know how to make myself useful to keep around, basically, for other people. And that's what I've kind of done this whole game. I've played a very similar Jessica game for the most part, although I think I've been a little bit less trusting of others around me for most of the game, which is probably why I've been so bipolar as far as who I trust, who I don't trust, all of that stuff. I basically change my mind every day. I mean, I've done some things that I wouldn't normally do. This being chatty at tribal council thing the first time we deadlocked the vote, and then again last night when we deadlocked the vote, that's something that's very out of character for me. Both times I was put in a situation where I was like, okay, this is the way this has to go. And I just have to keep talking until it happens that way. Both times it did, so I guess I can't complain. I definitely feel like I really pushed the first deadlock when maybe it wasn't the best thing to do for the game. It's what I thought was the best thing to do at the time. And to be honest, if I would have realized how rigid everything would have turned after that, maybe I wouldn't have deadlocked the vote. Although it's a different circumstance, it's because of the fact that they were voting against Shauna, and I had this, at the time, close relationship with Shauna where I thought that we were going to the end together. So that's me reflecting on that, I guess. As the post-merge stuff continued, there's been this huge part of me that's wanted to make things happen. And I think when the Jabber people and the Tamaki people read confessionals after this game, they'll understand that I wanted to make a move, that the Tam 4 was not my thing. But it just never worked out. When Shauna won immunity and she should have gone home, the night we voted out Dave instead, I wish I would have voted out Matt. And I know that's kind of a mean thing to say, I guess. Matt's my ally. I know he trusts me. We've been together the entire game. But the thing is if Matt had gone that night and Dave had stayed, we'd be in a different position where I wouldn't have had to make such a dramatic move so late in the game like I did last night just to prove my word. I told Dave I wanted to keep him in the game and put out Shauna, and then I couldn't because then I didn't have the people behind me to stick with it. I told Joanna I wanted to keep her in the game, but then she wins immunity. So how can I prove to her that I mean it, that I meant what I said about my relationship with her? And the only way to prove it is to do what I did last night. I was out of options, and I thought about it a lot, and I thought about what I was going to do a lot. I had decided going into the challenge, not that I was going to deadlock the vote if it came down to it. That I had not decided. I was honestly hoping Joanna would win immunity, to be honest, and none of this would have happened. Deadlocking the vote kind of came towards the beginning of Tribal Council started, and I got to a point where I knew it was going to go that way long before I officially said anything. But before the challenge even began, I knew if I won immunity, I was going to give it to Joanna. Even if all three of them turned around and voted me out afterwards, I don't care. And to be honest, I think Joanna might have deadlocked the vote for me in that circumstance. Or to be honest, I think Heidi or Matt would have been willing to vote against one another in that circumstance. But I would have done it because your word is your bond, and nobody knows if you're with them unless you actually prove it. And that would have proven it. That would have showed to Joanna that I was legitimate in my relationship with her, in my conversations I had with her, and in the fact that I wanted to work with her and go as far as possible in the game with her. It was really stressful and really scary, and it was a long tribal council and so much back and forth, and I knew Heidi and Matt were pissed. And, Matt emailed me back, and he was like, no, it's cool, dude, I just don't know what to do. Like, who am I going to take to the end now? I don't know if I can beat anybody. Anyway, Heidi hadn't responded to me. She had read my message last night, and as of the last time I checked this morning before I went to work, she had not responded to me yet. So Heidi's definitely pissed at me. Although Heidi, if anybody, should understand where I'm coming from more, because she was the one who I was in these dealings with the Jabiru people, and the only unfortunate circumstance was that it was Matt that won immunity. It is what it is. 95% sure that if I lose immunity, I'll be sent to the jury. I think there's a 5% chance that Matt does something ridiculous and takes me to the end over Heidi, which is a mistake. Not saying that Matt can beat Heidi. I think Matt's going to have to do a really, really good job at FTC to win the game. I know how he's viewed by the people in the game, and I know he's not a very eloquent writer, or at least he hasn't been in my situations with him. Maybe he's faking it, and he's going to write something amazing and blow us all away and win, but I just can't see it happening. The jury perceives him as hard to talk to. They perceive him as a follower. They perceive him as this rigid Tam for the end, doesn't care about anything else person, not even willing to entertain other options. And that's not what the people in the jury want to hear. Maybe it's what Shauna wants to hear, and maybe Shauna votes for him, but in general, I think Matt definitely has an uphill battle if he makes it to the end. So yeah, I think 95% Matt takes Heidi, 5% he takes me. I think Heidi 100% takes Matt. She'd be foolish not to. She knows that Matt's kind of looked at like a goat. She knows she probably wins if she goes against Matt, and I agree. I think she does. If I win the final challenge, I would bring Matt, because if I win the final challenge and I'm going to the point where I want to win the game, then I'm going to take Matt. It makes logical sense. Why would I take Heidi if I want to win? Although I think I could beat Heidi too. But anyway, in the circumstance that we're in, where I deadlocked for Joanna and she still went to the jury, is a little different than if I had deadlocked and Joanna hadn't gone to the jury, obviously. There's a chance Joanna's at the end and she gets the votes to win. There's certainly more of a chance because I think she could probably win an immunity challenge at the end. I think she's pretty good. Heidi's sitting on the jury pissed off at me, right? Let's say I win the final challenge and I take Matt. Or Matt has a moment of Matt being Matt and he decides to take me. Here's what happens. Who are our jurors? Roger. Pretty sure Roger votes for me. I'm pretty sure Roger and I had a good relationship, and I'm pretty sure Roger appreciated that I listened to him and all his insanity that other people didn't want to listen to. Rob. Rob's a toss-up to me, but I don't think he liked Matt at all. So based on that, maybe he swings a vote my way. I think Dave votes for me over Matt, to be honest with you. Maybe I'm wrong, but while Dave and Matt were close earlier in the game, I feel like Matt's unwillingness to work with Dave, at the point where I was really willing to work with Dave and trying to make things happen with him, I think that's going to go a long way. Especially now that he can probably see more so that it's true based on what happened at the last tribal council. We have Shauna. She could go either way. She might be pissed at me, especially after learning that I worked with Joanna. I think if Joanna had just gone out and it had been whatever, then Shauna might have voted for me at the end. Now I think she might be pissed and not vote for me. That's fine. And then you have Joanna, who just ended up on the jury. 100% is going to vote for me. Why wouldn't she? Joanna has to vote for me. She's a guaranteed vote for me. So yeah. Oh, and Daniel. Daniel's on the jury too. I forgot about him. Oh my god, he's like the ninja. I think Daniel votes for me too. I thought Daniel and I had a pretty decent relationship, and I'm certain Daniel is not a fan of Matt. So, could I win? Yeah, I think I could. I really think I could. Is that going to happen? No, I think it's pretty unlikely. I think we're looking at Heidi as the winner of this season of the Amazon, because I just think that based on her relationships with people and the circumstances of the game, that at the end versus Matt, she comes out victorious. I'm thinking more so which one of the two of them I want to vote for, and in those circumstances, I'm really thinking about, my FTC speech, because I think those odds are pretty unlikely. I feel very similar to being Flicka, I guess, at this point in the game, and not having had my name written down once. No one's ever voted against me unless I'm forgetting something. So the first vote I'm going to get is going to be the vote I get on Wednesday. Just like Flicka. I'll join the jury, I'll be a cute little fan favorite, and I'll be happy because I had my episode, and I made my stuff happen, and I did something that was not under the radar. I had my over-the-top day, and, and it's funny that it all surrounds deadlocks, and that's, what I've done, because there are plenty of times in games where people have talked about deadlocking the vote, but it happened twice this season, and the second time it certainly was because of me, and the first time I think I did play a big role in it too. Hindsight's 20/20, maybe I shouldn't have, but it is what it is. This game's been a lot of fun. It's been fun to be back, to be doing this, to be involved with people, to have made friends, to know that I still have it. I still got it after All Stars, after my one game hiatus. I can still play it. I don't know if after my next hiatus I'll be as good, but I don't know. Maybe it's just in my blood. I'm a good Survivor player. Maybe I need to go out on the island with Jeff Probst and try my chops out there, but I don't know. This will probably be my last video confessional unless something insane happens. So I just wanted to say thank you for inviting me to play again, for making my summer fun, and just the way I'm so used to my summers being, this being a huge part of it, for so many years in a row now. This is part of my life, and I love it. I love the Survivor family, and I love this game, and I love everything that you do for all of us that play. And that's what I have to say. I really have to work on my fallen comrades and eat dinner and watch The Bachelorette, so I'm going to get to that now, and maybe Heidi has responded to me. Who knows? Okay, so signing off for probably the final time. Adios.